first facet of a gospel-centered identity is partnership in the gospel. So if someone says, my identity is centered around the gospel, the first question I'm going to ask them is, are you in partnership with someone else or other people with regards to the gospel? It's never in isolation. We're not proclaiming Christ in isolation. This is so important. You see, when we're talking about identity, there's the individual characteristics of someone that distinguish them from other people. That's the individual dimension of identity. But there's also the social dimension of identity. What group are you a part of? Who do you identify with? All right. So that's really the question of fellowship. And we're going to go into that. So Philippians chapter 1, verses 4 to 5. Paul says, in all my prayers for all of you. Isn't it wonderful? These people he was involved with in this wonderful church plant, he prayed for them. He says, in all my prayers for all of you, I always pray with joy because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now. In other words, Paul was rejoicing in the fact that these guys had stuck with him, right? And he talks about your partnership in the gospel. He doesn't just say the fact that I preached to you guys and you passively listened to me, right? He talks about the partnership in the gospel. My question is, who are you in partnership with when it comes to the gospel? Not when it comes to behavior modification, not when it comes to motivational talks, not when it comes to other things. I'm talking about the gospel, the sharing of the good news. Are you in partnership with a group of people, with other people with regards to that? That's a gospel-centered identity. And it's interesting because that word partnership is an interesting one. It means to participate in something or to contribute to something. So it's not really accurate when we say, oh, I'm going to go in fellowship with those people and we're just talking about socializing. It's not really accurate, all right? Because partnership is not just about socializing. By the way, that word that is used in the Greek, it's the word koinonia, which literally is translated fellowship very often. But fellowship is not the same as a social. When we talk about a fellowship, or if we talk about a partnership where you're actively participating and contributing. So when you say we serve together in the hospitality team, that's a partnership in the gospel. Does that make sense? You're contributing, you're participating with each other. It's an active process. It's not just talking. It doesn't just involve talking to each other. Because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now. I think this is amazing. They didn't bail out just because Paul was now in prison, right? That's what he's rejoicing about. Are you contributing? Are you helping? Are you participating? It speaks of spiritual fellowship. One of the sad things about the gospel today, what we call the gospel today, is that very often people are not contributing. Okay, they're just receiving, they're just warming the pews in a church. And that's not gospel-centered identity, all right? That's a consumerist mentality, right? And we see this happening a lot. I'm going to church so I can be blessed. I'm going to that church meeting so I can be blessed. That's the mentality. And then a lot of preachers have a bless you mindset, Hey, are you blessed? Are you blessed? Are you blessed? I'm here to bless you and you're here to receive the blessing, right? But what's crucial for us when it comes to being gospel-centric is that we are also contributing. We're producers, not just consumers. And that's very important. Okay. So when your identity is gospel-centered, it means that you participate in the work of the gospel. You're an active participant. And fellowship in the true sense is not so much just hanging out with each other. It's what you do when you're contributing and you're participating. Very, very important. And